You're stuck there because you're good at it. You're stuck in the places of what you're doing because you are the highest level of skill for that particular task in your company. And you've made it that way. Hey, I'm Kelly Yadley, and this is The Kelly Yadley Show. Here's the lie we've been sold, that you have to pick the career or the kid, the big vision or the bedtime story. I'm calling it. That's not the deal. You can have both. I have built businesses for the last 16 years as a single mom, and you can do it without hustling yourself into the ground, but by choosing strategically every single day. This show is for the woman who wants the business, the brand, the freedom, and the family. All of it. So grab your coffee, your kid's juice box, whatever you got in your hand. Let's get into it. If you disappeared for 2 weeks, no phone, no laptop, no connection to your office, what would break first? That is actually not your business. That's your job description. Babe, you are the highest paid employee at your business. Welcome back to the Kelly Yadley Show. Today we're going to be talking about your business versus a job and what you have created along the way. What is that? And how can you get out of operator mode and get into owner and founder mode? I have found myself in this space more than once as I've built my residential cleaning company over the last 17 years. There's not a fix it and forget it type of situation when you're dealing with your own company. It's not like that. So you have to put systems in place, and then you have to follow up and improve on them. It's not just something that you can do it one time or put that one little thing in place and then walk on and never look back. It's not like that. Business is not like that. Things evolve, people change, we have pandemics, we've got children, we've got life happening. And so you have to look back and really think about what is happening in your life and how to make this better right now. So today I've got 3 points to talk about how to take yourself from being an operator and moving into the owner space and the founder space in your company. So the first thing is busy is not the same as in charge. So the tell isn't your revenue. It's really your calendar. You have to walk through different places in your calendar for yourself to really pull back and run your company. You have to have the vision for what you want. You have to have the actual tasks that you're working on. You have to look at the actual numbers in your revenue, what your clients are taking, what your expenses are. And then finally, your delegation and your decisions. Those are all different pieces of what you have to do in order to be in charge of your company, not just sit around and move things around and act busy. And that is such a pet peeve of mine when you ask somebody how they're doing and they're like, oh, I'm busy. And I don't think that's a flex. I think that is something that holds us back from being effective as leaders and efficient as business owners. And I think those things really push us forward when we are specific and intentional about what's going on in our lives and in our businesses. So you need to score yourself on these for your vision. Are you in line with your vision for your company and yourself? On a scale of 1 to 10, let's do that. Are you in line with your vision? Do you know what that is? Have you thought about it recently? And how about your calendar and the tasks that you have? Are you clear on what your team should be doing versus what you should be doing? Do you have time set aside to be specific about working on the business and moving it forward? That's very important. If you're not doing that, you're going to be stuck in the same circles, the same rhythm for so long. And then also the numbers. Are you taking time to look at where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 looking at your numbers? Are you looking at them quarterly, annually, weekly, daily? What is a good measure of how you're doing and how you can be most efficient with your business, how you can move through expenses and really grow and make strategic decisions as you go? And then the last one, decision making and delegating. Where are you on that on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you really allowing other people to do things, even if they don't do it exactly how you would? Are you letting people help you? Are you moving out of the way so your team can do it? I've had feedback that my team likes to do things when I'm not around better than sometimes when I am around. I don't know how I feel about that, quite honestly, but I think sometimes when I'm away, it gives them the authority and the just independence of doing the task, owning the task. Whereas when I'm around or in the office, they can like default to asking me. So I think that is really something that's important for my company. So this is really important to remind yourself that busy with all of these things is a lot different than owning the task and being in charge as the leader. Quick sponsored break. And this one's from a listener turned sponsor. Shelly and Jody host the adjacent podcast Out of Austin. Shelly wrote this in her own words, so we're getting it straight from her. You know who loves everything Kelly Yadley? The Adjacent Podcast. We talk about Kelly all the time because she's exactly the kind of person we love celebrating. We're Shelly and Jody, two feral sisters from Austin, Texas, sharing everything we're adjacent to. Amazing people, local legends, authors, educators, restaurants, nonprofits, hidden gems, and all the adventures that make Central Texas so special. If you follow Kelly, you should get adjacent. Come join the fun because everyone's got a story worth telling. Let's get adjacent. My second point is you're good. You're stuck there because you're good at it. You're stuck in the places of what you're doing because you are the highest level of skill for that particular task in your company. And you've made it that way. You need to hire above you. You need to have your team taking care of the tasks that are better than you. Like hire people that are better at, and it doesn't have to be everything, but if you have a bookkeeper, your bookkeeper is better at the numbers than you. If you have a scheduler, the scheduler is better at that than you. Like my team is much better than I am. Not on, I still have myself involved in some of the pieces, which I'm feverishly working to get out of. And I really allow them to shine in their areas so they can succeed and I can walk away. And I check in, of course, like we don't ever want to take our full focus off of what's happening in our company, but allowing them the freedom and the flexibility to take on their talents and gifts and skills and really grow into it is really important. So you can be really trapped by being the fastest or being the most reliable or being the one who does it right. So allow your team the opportunity to try and give them the grace as they learn, as you did for yourself when you were new at it. Give them that feeling, because being needed for ourselves, it feels like being important sometimes. So it's an ego thing too for us. Like if we're the ones that is needed all the time, our ego really likes that. So step back a little bit, allow yourself to not be the most important one in the room when you're at your office, and allow your employees and your team to really shine. Allow them to be the ones that take the reins and move things forward for you so you can focus on other tasks that moves the company and grows the company. An operator makes the decisions and an owner makes the decision makers. So there's just a difference there, right? There's just a difference. This is where you really need someone to take a moment and lead you so that you have time to lead the whole company. It's amazing. So our third point today, the fix is 10 minutes a day. It's not a whole complete system rebuild. Like you don't have to completely redo your whole company, hire new people, change the staff. That's not what it is. A few minutes a day can like reroute the Titanic, right? Just reroute what you're doing. So take a moment for your vision. Like absolutely. I'm going to say this out loud. Do you have a vision board? Do you? I mean, they seem silly, I know, but do you have an actual idea of what you want in your life? Because I'm telling you, when that is spelled out in front of you and you look at it every single day like I do, it's right in front of me, there's something about that that moves you into that future, that moves you into that space. It just does. It's I don't know what it is, magic or energy or I don't know, but it works, let me tell you. So if you look at that every morning, every day, have it as your screensaver on your phone or your desktop. Have it as on your wall, like I do, or whatever that is. Some people get tattoos. I mean, it's just mad. There's so many ideas, so many ideas. So, and then say it out loud. Say things out loud. Talk about it. Talk about what you want in your life. To safe people, don't be, talking to people that it scares and then they have the seed of doubt in it. Talk to people that are big thinkers as well and share your vision with other people. Because when you talk about it, it becomes more normal to you, and normal all of a sudden starts looking like your vision. So moving it along. So, and then name one thing that moves it today and block that thing first in your life. So if moving yourself from operator to owner looks like you stepping away so that you have time to work on the business 4 hours a week. What about that? Something like that. How could you take 4 hours a week, set it aside so that you have time to think of things outside of the company to grow it? Have meetings about new vendors, new opportunities for you. Like, take a time to put that first, whatever that thing is that will grow your company, grow your business, grow you. And then you got to put your eyes on the numbers. How much revenue are you pulling in? What are your expenses? You can't just put your head in the sand about this. You really have to be real. And for many years, I avoided this, because I thought that I didn't understand. I thought that it was bigger than me. And I remember it was like, I'm going to say this again. I'm just like, wow, put this out there. I think it was like year 10, 12. I mean, it was far down the road. We were already into bigger numbers. And my bookkeeper just quit one day because she had to go do something else. And she said to me, Kelly, you need to know this. Like, I'm not leaving you on good terms because I need to go and I'm not giving you time. I know that, but this is something that you need to own and you need to take care of. You need to learn this. And I was like, well, screw you. I mean, like, I need you to do this. Like, I don't know how to reconcile an account. I don't know how, like all of these things like P&L, like I didn't know anything. And well, I thought I didn't. And so I had a moment where I was like, okay, she's probably right. I took some time, and I'll be darned, I learned it. And from that day on, I was able to allow the numbers on the P&L and the balance sheet to start talking to me. Those numbers, my new bookkeeper said, those numbers tell a story. Those numbers are saying to you what's working and what's not working, the relationship between what you need and what you don't need. And then all of that also allows like what's possible for the future. So just working with all of those numbers. So now I'll look at our numbers right now, probably once or twice a week, to be honest. Like I'm looking at the budget a few times a month, and I'm looking at our revenue and our P&L once or twice a week. And that's just looking at it. I'm not really diving into anything. We have a meeting for our numbers once a month where I'm diving in deeper and she's asking me questions and all of that. And then twice a year I have with my CPA. So, I mean, there's levels to this, right? But I'm asking you to look at your numbers, to just be honest, to write them down. Don't just be spending money and not paying attention to what you're doing. Do it intentionally and do it scared. Don't worry about it. You will figure this out. And our final one is what came to you today that shouldn't have. What ended up in your email, what ended up on your desk that you shouldn't be worrying about. That one thing, you can make a list of those things. You could forward it to someone else. You can reply to somebody. You know, what is that one thing that landed on your desk that's not for you? Allow yourself to admit, hey, that's not my role anymore. That is something that someone else can do. I don't need to be doing that anymore. What is that one thing? At the end of the day, what is that one thing that someone else could do? And if you're a solopreneur, that's a job description for your first assistant or your first person. These are things that you could just start an ongoing list in your notes or a spreadsheet or something, and you just start putting those things on a list of things that you need to learn and know. Just start that list going, because it's something that when you do get more busy, you will have to have another person to help you. And if you already have that list started, when they start, you're like, this is your job description. Boom, 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 boom. And it's so, so helpful. So with the things that we've learned today, if you are running your business and you feel like you have a job, think of what you're doing with your tasks, with your money, with your vision, and with your delegation. These are the things that you want to consider as you're growing your business, growing your brand, and your life. You want to make sure that you have a handle on these things, and I'm here to help you. If you have questions, let me know. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you next week. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye. That's it for this week. If something in this episode hit, do me a favor. Send it to one woman in your life who needs to hear it. That's how this community grows, one honest conversation at a time. Follow the show, leave a review, and come find me on Instagram. I read everything. Remember, strong doesn't mean solo. I'll see you next week.